Hey guys, workouts that have two separate scores.
That's what we're going to talk about today because it's fucked up. That's right. Two scored workouts, although they seem super fun, like, oh, what a good idea. Like basically more scores without having to have as many workouts. Because I will say that in CrossFit, I'm a fan of, basically the more scores, the more test, the better, but it's not quite that simple. Now, I am going to be specifically talking about, online competitions for the most part, but I really don't like them in any competitions. It's more of a problem in online competitions. And yes, I am jumping on the Wodapalooza. Programmers are not the brightest folks on the planet. I'm sorry. I don't normally directly call people out, but this is just unanimous. The Wodapalooza online qualifiers, total clusterfuck. Whether you're talking about the fact that they released early what videos they were going to ask for, because if you guys don't understand that, here's what happened. They had a deadline for when all the videos were due. But because they had this two scored workout that is a bad idea anyways, but because they didn't explain it properly and people just do not understand how to read, there were so many scores put in incorrectly that they then had to go back and kind of re-explain how the workout works and extend the deadline so people could go in and fix their scores. Unfortunately, whoever does their social media had this post scheduled for the original deadline. Okay, so originally workouts videos were supposed to be submitted and workouts were supposed to be in by X time. So at that time, they scheduled a post to say, hey, okay, now that all the workouts are official and we're not letting anyone submit any more scores, now we're going to reveal to you what workouts we're going to request via video submission, right? Because they didn't say, hey, send us all your videos. They said, record all your videos, and then we're going to request specific ones, but you don't know which ones they're going to be. So, of course, most people are going to videotape all of their workouts as best they can because they don't know which ones are going to get asked for. So that all kind of makes sense on the surface. However, what they fucked up was they went in and extended the deadline of when you could enter scores, and they forgot to change the scheduled post. So they released what workouts were going to be required for video submission. Then they retracted that. So there was this period of time where people knew what videos were going to be requested. And so they were able to go in and change their scores on the workouts that they knew weren't going to be requested. So that honestly is like a whole nother video, and plenty of people have talked about that. I'm not really going to get into that whole clusterfuck to begin with. That's just goddamn embarrassing. And that is like total B-League, like this is the first time I've ever put on a competition sort of shit. So no excuses for that. I just have no sympathy for that as a past programmer and competition host myself. That's bad. So Wodapalooza, not good on that. But what I'm going to talk about in general is something else that Wodapalooza also did, but this just isn't a bash on Wodapalooza video. Okay, this is about every time people put in a workout with two scores and they think they're being clever because they're like, well, it's really only one workout, one video, but we can get multiple scores out of it. And that sounds great. And in some cases, in a live competition, you can get away with it. Now, I still don't like it in a live competition for some of the same reasons. It's just not as extreme. But what I'm going to talk mainly is online competition. So what happens in online competitions is you normally have a greater number of people participating than you do in a live competition. I love online competitions, but here's the problem. The problem is in CrossFit, what we're truly trying to find is who has the least weaknesses, who's the most consistent, who is the fittest across a large range of time and modal domains, right? Like how many different things can somebody do, different time components, different gymnastics components, different skills, all these different tests, unknown, unknowable, whatever you want to throw in there. The point is, how do you measure up against the field, right? So like you can win CrossFit competition and never win a single workout. You just have to be better than all the other people consistently across the board. Now, what's my point here, Clay? Here's my point. The point is a lot of people don't understand that when you have a two scored workout, you totally open the door for what are called, in my opinion, leaderboard disruptors. So what's a leaderboard disruptor? Here's what that is. That's somebody who has no chance or no goal of qualifying at the end of all the workouts, let's say in the top. So let's say we're looking for the top 10 athletes, okay? And we have 100 people in the online qualifier. Okay, not all of those 100 people even have the goal of placing in the top 10. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's talk about the athletes who think, hey, I have a goal of placing in the top 10. So when those athletes look at a 2-scored workout, they understand that they have to have the best score possible in both of those workouts, right? That's important to understand that because they know that they are getting graded on consistency, okay? And they have to be consistent. They can't have one workout that's way down here if they want to be in the top 10, okay? So when they approach that workout, all of the top athletes are approaching it the same, which is how hard can I run part A and then still also have a very good performance on part B. So I can't go full send in workout A and then also go full send in workout B. So there's a give and take. There's a compromise there, right? It's very important. Now, here's the disruption, okay? The problem is there's athletes that know, right? Those 100 athletes, okay? There's athletes in there that know they're placing 80th. Right? They're placing 100th. Okay, so they're not worried about their overall placement. But you know what they are worried about? They want to know, maybe I can have one really, really, really good score. So, for instance, the Wodapalooza just happens to be a great example. They're not the only ones to fuck this up, but it's the most recent. Everybody's talking about it, so let's use it as an example. Okay, sounds like a really cool workout, right? Part A is you row 1,000 meters for time as fast as you can. That's one score. Then you go directly into another workout, right? And you combine the 2 times. And so this score counts towards this time and you end up with 2 scores. So if you know you want to be one of these top 10 people in my hypothetical 100 athletes and top 10 are going to qualify, I'm making this up. If you want to be one of those top 10s, you know that in that 1,000-meter row, you cannot go full send PR, give it everything you've got, fall off the fucking rower, and you can't even walk around or get up. You're just rolling in fucking pain for 5 minutes. You can't do that and then also have a good score on workout B. So that's not what you do. So you row a very hard, challenging, very good pace, but you have to back off. You cannot go 100%. You can't. So therefore, you can also put in a good effort in the second one. That's what all the same top athletes are doing. Now, here's the problem. The problem is the athlete that's in 80th, okay, who knows they have no chance of qualifying, but maybe they're decent at rowing. And so they're thinking to themselves, fuck B. I don't care about score B. I want to see how well I can do at the 1,000-meter row, for example, right? Using the Wodapalooza example. But this could apply to any workout with an A and B. So you have some athletes who go in and they're just like, dude, I'm going for a 1,000-meter row PR. Full fucking send, and I don't even care if I finish workout B. Matter of fact, I might not even start workout B for 5 minutes because I'm going to roll around on the ground. Then I'll get up and I'll do what I can in workout B. And my goal is, forget the other workouts. I just want to look at the leaderboard and look at that one workout and go, oh my God, on the 1,000-meter row, I placed 10th. Who cares that I finished 90th in the whole competition? So what happens is that person disrupts the leaderboard. It's like, I hate to use this word, but it's not fair. It's totally erroneous because that person now interjects their score amongst these top 10 athletes and causes, it's not a realistic representation of how everybody performed across the board because some people literally just took one workout off. Okay, so that might lose some of you and you might be like, well, no, that's the whole point. I mean, you can do whatever you want. You can go as hard as you can. And the top athletes could have done the same thing. And it's like, no, they couldn't. I mean, that's not how it works. If you know anything about CrossFit and working out and doing multiple workouts, you cannot row a 1,000-meter row at 100% full send and then do fucking anything after that. Unless that's your goal. So do you get what I'm saying there? So that's dumb. It doesn't work. Now, if it's an in-person live competition, I have less of a problem with it because in some way you don't have all these erroneous outliers. But even then, that's not necessarily true. I mean, anytime you go to a competition, let's say you go to a decent sized competition and there's 50 people, there's 100 people. It doesn't have to be this huge let's say there's 50 people. Well, once again, in those 50 people, let's say in that open RX division at your local state or city competition, you could easily have 50 people in the RX open division, easily. You got the same thing. You have people who are entering that competition for the fun of it who know they're placing 25th to 50th. They know they have no chance of being in the top 10. So you still have that same problem of where you have a 2-scored workout where maybe you have to do X workout for reps and time to get fatigued, then you have a max lift. I'm just making these up. So any athlete who wants to be in the top 10, right, they want a podium, top 3, they know they cannot go full send on the first workout and then also PR their clean and jerk, okay? However, you have other athletes in that competition whose strength is strength. The thing that they're best at is weightlifting. Maybe they don't have good conditioning. They're not all around good at cardio. They don't have good gymnastics. So they know they're not placing or podiuming, but you're going to make the podium. So what do? They're like, yeah, but I'm going to win that clean and jerk, right? So they totally dog the first part of the workout, A, so that they can max out and maybe even hit a PR on B. So now their score, once again, is totally erroneous because they're really not competing equally against people who are trying their hardest at all of the workouts. So here's the bottom line. If that doesn't make sense to you, then you really just don't understand CrossFit and CrossFit competitions. Plain and simple. You don't really understand how it works to have to do multiple workouts and have to be strategic and have a give and take with energy expenditure across a multitude of workouts throughout a day, throughout multiple days, let alone throughout multiple scored workouts. That's the same workout, but it has multiple scores. There's a lot of strategy involved, and that strategy, that management of energy conservation is super important. So if you take that away, it just doesn't work. So what's the bottom line? 2 scored workouts, they're just not good. They sound fun, but they're not good. If you want extra scores, have a floater. Make a workout that's easier, that can be done and you can fit it in, or just have more workouts. Make more time, right? Don't try to have more scores by having an A and B workout. It just doesn't work. It causes problems. It disrupts the leaderboard, and it really just isn't accurate. So hopefully if I've explained that, if I've lost you, I don't know. I mean, maybe I didn't do the best job explaining it, but I think I got the point across that I just don't think it's good. So yeah, Wodapalooza, bummer. I mean, it sounds like a great event. It's not really great for masters. They don't really take a lot of masters, and their masters are kind of like a sideshow. So yeah, I got a little bit of a chip on my shoulder for Wodapalooza anyways. It's certainly no Legends or anything like that. I mean, Legends just wrapped up. I haven't heard anybody complaining. Nobody's making videos. Andrew Hiller's not jumping on board for Legends. So big 2 thumbs up to Legends, right? They run an amazing event. I'm looking forward to the championships in December at CrossFit Mayhem. I'm pretty sure that CrossFit Mayhem isn't going to fuck up the programming, but we will see if they do any A and B workouts. Once again, not a huge fan, but I do think if you have a smaller group of athletes, like Wodapalooza, they're only taking 10 masters to the finals. Now, there's a great time that I think if you feel the need to do an A and B workout, then if you've only got 10 athletes in a division, all 10 of those athletes who qualify, they've all probably got a chance of making it to the podium. So in that situation, an A and B workout would probably work because one of those athletes is probably not just going to be like, fuck it, I'm just going to completely throw away one score to do good at another one. They all feel like they have a chance to win or do well. So they're all going to manage and strategically do the best they can on both A and B. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. Hopefully I'm beating a dead horse here. But man, so Wodapalooza, not good. You totally had the mess up with releasing what videos they were going to review early, and then they retracted it, which also gave them the opportunity to then change what videos they were going to ask for, but they didn't. 4 hours later, they just reposted the same thing, requesting the same videos. So it's like, it's one thing to fuck up the first time and release it early. Whoops. All you had to do was change which videos you were going to ask for, and release a different set when it was official 4 hours later. So you fucked up. You could have fixed the fuck up, but you didn't. You fucked up again. Then you fucked up by having an A and B workout the way you did. Not good. So that is my take on A and B workouts, multiple scored workouts. I don't like them. What do you think? Do me a favor, comment, like, subscribe, and tell me you disagree with me. Tell me I'm an idiot. It does not hurt my feelings. Or tell me you agree with me. Give me some experiences you've had with competitions with multiple scored workouts. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks, guys.